Hello YouTube, and welcome to another wild camping adventure here in the Lake District. Once again we have some absolutely perfect weather for it. As always, it's great to have you regular viewers join me on this one, and if you're a new viewer to the channel, welcome to A Cumbrian Lad Outdoors. I'm out with Dan the English woodsman today. Dan's saying he's knackered already. As you'll have seen it towards the back end of last year when I was doing a few camps with Dan, Dan's mission for this year is to make a good start on completing the Wainwrights. So that's what we're doing today. We've got 5 summits planned, 3 of which I've already done, 2 of which are new to me. We have just started the ascent. I'm just above Derwentwater at the moment. The cars are just down there. And like I say, it's an absolute perfect day for it. Last week I was camped on top of Little Man, and I also summited Skidder. But the weather last week was good but a little bit breezy. Today we have just barely a breath of wind to keep us cool. The original plan was to be walking up from that direction and along. However, parking was a little troublesome today, so we're taking this shortcut from the cars up this route here to join the path to take us up to the top there. And the first summit of today will be Cat Bells. Let's get it done. And here we go. First summit of the day is Cat Bells. Done and boshed it twice, mate. And that is the first summit of the day. Like I say, we're gonna have a good rest here, taking these beautiful views. That is the next summit of the day, somewhere up there, Maiden Moor. But for now, look at this. Absolutely stunning views. As you'll have seen at the beginning of the video, it's been an emotional week for me. A couple of weeks ago, I lost one of my good pals, 52 years old, taken far too young. Tuesday this week we had his funeral. It's not something I talk about much on the channel, but back in the day I used to be a raver, enjoyed my music and DJing, and my mate Daz was an awesome DJ. We toured the country raving. You know, we partied pretty hard back in the day, but we've all been settled down for a good long time now. And this kind of thing just brings back the reality that we're all getting older. There's no fighting it. But yeah, Daz mate, this one's for you, pal. I hope you're watching down and laughing, saying you crazy, crazy man. Right, enough of the emotional stuff for now. Gonna have 5 minutes with Dan here. Dan was struggling a little bit there, so we're gonna have a rest. Dan's actually taken lead on the navigation on this one. He's got the Phoenix 7 Pro as well, so I've been helping him a little bit with the nav on that, so we're working on that with Dan today. Right, I'll bring you back once we're back on the trail. We've just come to the end of the downhill and flat after Cat Bells. Cat Bells is a very touristy mountain, and it was quite busy up there, but now we've got past it, it's a lot more quiet. How are you enjoying today so far, Dan?
Better now. Now I've got over that first bit of shock to my system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. First bit was like, what am I doing?
Yeah, that first bit was steep, and it most definitely woke the legs up very quickly. We are just about to start the climb up to Maiden Moor, so we go up here, and along that ridge you can see a few people just up there. It is a little bit more overcast now, and it's still quite cool. We are expecting -5 degrees overnight, not much wind, so it's probably going to feel somewhere between -5 and -10. But for these views, man, you just can't beat it. You just can't beat it. Some of the higher peaks have got snow on them, so we may very well end up in that snow layer, but for now it's glorious. So we're going to make the start of the ascent up to Maiden Moor. That's myself and Dan on the ascent up to Maiden Moor. We're above Catbells now and the views just keep getting better and better. You can see Helvellyn just there with its snowshoes on, and just to the left Catstickam poking its head out. Looking down on Bleaberry Tarn, Walla Crag, over at Blencathra.
I've seen hills, mate.
Skiddaw, Little Man, Skidder, Dodwood Summit, and obviously back down towards Catbells with Bass Lake in the distance. Dan's saying he just sees hills, he doesn't know names, but I'm doing my best to let him know which is which.
Yeah, we'll go out there in 5 minutes.
We're not too far off the top of Maiden Moor now, and the sun's just come out from behind a big cloud, so we're starting to feel the warmth of that a little bit again, which is nice. It had got a little bit cold. Whew, we'll see at the top. Just there is where I camped with Camping Dan 85 and a few other people on what we thought was Maiden Moor Summit. In fact, it is not. So I can't say done and boshed it twice on this one. I thought I'd done it, but I haven't. So this is actually going to be 3 Wainwright summits officially for me today. I think High Spy is over there. Onwards to the proper Maiden Moor. And here we go. Officially Maiden Moor. Done and boshed. Like I say, when we were camping up that other bit with Camping Dan and Moosterman, we thought that first bit was a summit, but we were wrong. Oh wow. Some nice views back towards Catbells, Barra area. I think that's Causey Pike, Grisdale Pike in the background. And roughly speaking, I think High Spy's somewhere over there. Then on to Dale Head, Hindscarth, and this ridge line here will be our route back in the morning. So I think I'm going to stop here for 10 minutes, get a little bit of food on board. I'm starting to get quite hungry. Dan's just saying his legs don't want to work. Oh dear me. That was a much needed refreshment stop on Maiden Moor. My stomach was pulling a little bit. Just had a tuna savoury sandwich and half a bottle of Coke, and that's put me on nicely. Following Weather Lamb, now I'm pushing myself a little bit further. I have got some snack bars with me, and I've got some energy gel packs as well. It has cooled down a bit. You will notice I've got my buff on in a little bit of a twisty hat style, just to keep my baldy head warm. So like I say, next summit of the day is High Spy. We'll discount Maiden Moor because I'd already almost done that before. So this one will be officially Wainwright number 72 for me. It's been undulating, flat, gentle, up and down for the majority of the way since Maiden Moor. A little bit of incline, but it's not been too bad. And the temperature keeps changing as that sun comes and goes. But we are just approaching the 3rd Wainwright summit of the day. And we can now say High Spy, done and boshed it, mate. Another one ticked off the list. Ooh. Here comes Dan. He's done well today, as our Dan. It's his first trip out since he did Raven Crag. As always, it's a pleasure to join Dan on a camp, and there will be a link to Dan's channel in the description so you can go and check him out. Right, myself and Dan are going to have 5 minutes here, and then we need to figure out which way to the next one, which is Dale Head. We're just approaching Dale Head Tarn at the moment, just before the steep ascent up to Dale Head itself. We're just by the little river coming out of the tarn. We've got to walk around this rock formation, and you can see people heading up the steep ascent. Neither myself or Dan are looking forward to this. We're probably going to have a little bit of a rest at the bottom, take on some more fluids before we start that ascent. From where I am now, it is 0.8 of a mile to the summit, and I reckon it's going to take us a good hour to an hour and a half to accomplish that. And hopefully once we get a little bit up that ascent, we'll be above Dalehead Tarn and get you a little look at that as well. I wasn't sure exactly how close we'd get to Dalehead Tarn. You can never quite tell correctly the topography on these online maps, but we're right beside it now. A little bit smaller than I thought it would be. Set in a lovely little ball. And that's what we've got to climb. Neither myself or Dan are looking forward to that one. A nice little bit of wall here. Nice and flat inside as well. Nice and peaceful here as well. The wind, there was a little tiny breeze. That's all but gone. That's all but gone, and it's warmer. We've obviously descended a bit from High Spy, so I have warmed up nicely. Yeah, that's High Spy up there, so you can see how far we've dropped down to get to this point. Unfortunately, that means we've got to go back up. Oh, I was just saying to Dan, pack weight today is just starting to play a little bit on my shoulder. Not super heavy, I would say, with food but without water, I'm somewhere around about the 10 or 12 kilos. Like I say, it's going to be very cold tonight, so I've brought some extra gear with me just to make sure that I keep warm. Both of us are looking forward to those really nice warm summer camps where we can get the weight right down. I'm definitely going to be below 4 kilos this summer from my super lightweight camps. We've even got a couple of ducks on the tarn there. That's nice to see. Right, I think myself and Dan are going to have 5 minutes here. Maybe take on a bit of fluid before we tackle that. And that's myself and Dan just about halfway up that ascent. Half a mile to go till we get to the summit. Just looking back to High Spy there, you can see just how far we've come. Looking down on Dalehead Tarn and the mountains in the distance. The path is steep, however it is fairly nicely stoned and stepped. You can see what I mean there, it is very steep. But with it being stoned the way that it is, that is making it a bit easier. You're not scrabbling around for your foothold or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, myself and Dan are having to take breaks. We don't want to burn ourselves out. You know, the calves and the thighs are definitely starting to tire a little bit. But we had a chat with a nice group of people down the bottom by the tarn there, and they said, not a breath of wind on top, an amazing view, so that'll do us. Well, we've reached the top of that really steep incline, and it was bad, but it was not as bad as I was expecting. Dan's struggling a little bit with his legs are starting to suffer, but 0.35 of a mile to go, and somewhere up there is summit number 4, Dalehead, and we're both looking forward to tapping that one. After that, it should be relatively plain sailing around to Hindscarth, and we're now starting to look back down on our route in the morning. How's that for a view down a valley? Wowee! Can't quite see all the route that we've done, but we can see a good bit of it. It's definitely been a good stretch of the legs today, and good preparation for some longer hikes during the summer. Right, just waiting for Dan to catch up a little bit. Dan's going to want 10 minutes here, and then we're both going to push on to the next summit. Now we've started to ascend quite a bit again. The temperature has dropped, so the buff is once again keeping the old baldy head warm. Although that wasn't as bad as I expected, it was still a killer. That was steep, but we've done it. We are just approaching the summit cairn on Dalehead. Ooh-wee. I'm definitely starting to tire a little bit now. Although I'm not hungry, the legs are getting tired. And the breath is slowly starting to go. But Dale Head, Wainwright number 4 of the day. Done and boshed it, mate. And when I say it was worth it, I mean it was worth it. Here comes Dan just over the brow of the hill now. And the view down this valley is nothing short of exceptional. Just continuing the view round. Look at this. Unbelievable. Absolutely stunning this. You can see the mountains just in front of me do have a bit of snow on them. And on that path just before the summit there was a little bit of snow in where the shadow is. And should we want to, plenty of places up here to pitch the tent as well. Right, I'm going to wait for Dan to catch up. We'll have a little bit of a rest here and then we're going to push on to Hindscarth. Dan's just doing his bit to camera on the summit there, so just before we set off to Hindscarth I'm just having a wander over the far end. See if I can get some views down there, because I can just and so see part of Honister Slate Mine. Yeah, I'm not going to get much further before I hit the drop. So you can see Honister Slate Mine there. I believe that's Great Gable, I'm not quite sure. But that is most definitely Fleetwith Pike, and in the background to that is Haystacks. I think that's High Style, one of those two. That's Red Pike just there. So looking down towards Buttermere. Great views up here. Well worth the trip up. It's a good stretch of the legs. It's the longest stretch of the legs I've had in a long time, to be fair. But now spring's here, it is most definitely time to start pushing ourselves a little bit. But like I said earlier in the video, it will get a bit easier, because once the finer weather comes, we can really start dropping the pack weights, so we're not humping around this. Oh dear me. Looking right down on top of the mine now, Fleetwith Pike. We've got the Honister Pass just in view, as is Buttermere. And it's downhill or flat from here onwards, and that is music to my ears.
And mine.
And Dad's as well. Well, with just shy of 500 feet to go till we hit Hindscarth, we've got this peak here, and then there is another cairn stone down there, and that one down there is officially the summit of Hindscarth. However, to be on the safe side, we don't want to cut any corners. We'll tap this one as well before we walk over to that other one. So when I programmed the Garmin, I zoomed right in. Now we think that that is the official summit, and this one is Wainwright's summit of Hindscarth. So like I say, I'm tapping them both just to make doubly sure. We don't want to cut any corners. It's not like there's a big distance between the two either, to be fair. And last time I was up here with Adam in the Wild training for the Cumbria Way, we couldn't see our hands in front of our faces. So one, I actually know what the top of Hindscarth looks like properly now, and two, we're going to get some views today as well. Yeah, this is definitely the official Wainwright summit. My watch is just beeping at me now. It is very rocky up here, so we might have to keep going a little bit just to see if we can find somewhere to pitch for the night. But without further ado, we can say, as I walk into this hollow cairn, Hindscarth. Summit number 5 of the day, done and boshed it, mate. Another one off the list. Oh. And that is officially the most number of mountains that I have climbed in one day. And Dan's been with me all the way. He has started to struggle a little bit this last couple of miles. His legs have started trembling and he's got a really sore hip. But the guy's absolutely trooped it out. He's done amazing. And like I say, there will be a link to his channel in the description. So please go and check him out. He's a cracking lad and his channel's brilliant. He does all kinds of camping, just like myself. Oh. Right, I'll let Dan do his bit. That there is the start of our path back to the car in the morning. So we're going to start looking around for somewhere to pitch up because it is most definitely starting to get colder. And as you can see by looking over there, the sun is getting lower in the sky. So we'll see you once we've found a pitch for the night. Myself and Dan did have a look around on the top of Hindscarth. There was pitches, but it was away from the summit and it was on a bit of an angle. It wasn't ideal. Any flat spots was very rocky. So we've descended slightly from the top of Hindscarth. About a 10-minute walk up there is the summit. We're walking down this steep zigzag path and Dan's leg is giving him a bit of grief and he was like, come on camping gods, give us a nice camping spot for the night. And we literally turned the corner. The path is just over the brow of that hill there. We've got this lovely flat spot here. It's a bit bumpy, but it's levelish. Got a cracking view over Cat Bells and Maiden, Moor, Derwentwater, Wainwright, and the mountains all surrounding us that we've talked about already today. Dan's a happy man. He's like a pixie on the toadstool. Look at him. Yeah, this is a beautiful little spot for myself and Dan to camp for the night. Now, when I was buying the Tarp Tent Scarpone Ultra, it was between that and the QEU Stormstar. I opted for the Ultra because I know it and it is a good tent, despite the one flaw that I found, but let bygones be bygones. So I'm going to get to have a first close look at a QEU Stormstar 2 in person tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. I'll give you guys a quick glimpse of it, but obviously if you want to check out Dan's kit list, you can click on the link in the description and you can head over and check his kit list out. So for now, myself and Dan, we're just going to relax, take on some fluids for 5 or 10 minutes, and then it's most definitely going to be time to get the tent set up. Woo! And that's us both more or less all set up. Bending down to set the tent up, the old legs were starting to ache a little bit, but the sun's come out to play. Despite the cold wind, I can still feel it on my hands and my face. You can feel the warmth a little bit from the sun. Out in the scarp again, the usual setup inside. Got Korean pork belly hoisin stir fry with spicy noodles for tea and a Yeti brekkie for morning. Couple of Heineken Zeros, which it looks like I am going to have to fight tactical duck for. If you know, you know. All in all, not a bad pitch for the night. Dan's still just setting up and the sun is going to give us a false sunset tonight because it's going to go over the back of Robinson, but hopefully that should light the sky up nicely for us. I'm looking forward to getting that chair up and getting the tea on because my stomach is pulling something chronic. Dan's currently hiding underneath his air mat. Dan's had enough, he's given up.
I'm sleeping backwards tonight.
I'll let Dan get finished in there, but like I say, this is my first look at the QEU Stormstar 2. 3 poles, very similar to the Scarp, except the 2 poles don't meet and cross in the middle. They cross halfway down and they go wide in the middle, and you've got the loop. This is what the Scarp should have done. Instead of having the sleeve, which can be a bit of a pain in the backside, these clips over the middle make it so much quicker to set up. But if I just give a quick, that is rock solid. Plenty of tie out points too. But like I say, we're just having a quick look at the Stormstar. I'm going to have a lot closer look. But if you want to go and check out more of what Dan's using and a closer look at the Stormstar, go and check his video out. I think I'm just going to go and have to check and see if Dan's still alive in there. There's some rather funny noises coming out of his tent. But yeah, I'm going to go and get my chair set up, have a bit of a crack with Dan, and then it's definitely time to get the tea on. Oh, am I ready for my tea? Dan's just tucking into his now. Found a nice little flat spot just behind my tent. The breeze is coming the other way, so it's acting as a bit of a windbreak. It is relatively calm, to be fair. Look at these views. Some lovely sunset colours just over the backside of Robinson now. Dan's just inside his tent, tucking into his sweet and sour chicken balls. Once my tea's cooked, you'll have seen my chair, so I'm going to head over and have my tea with Dan, have a bit of a crack with him. I literally just said to Dan, neither of us are going to be late to bed tonight. It's been a long day's walking, a good day's walking, but a long one and quite hard in places, so I think we'll both sleep well tonight. Oh, it's tea time at last. Look at them sunset colours behind me. Absolutely brilliant little spot, this. There's Dan. How are you feeling after you've had some food, mate?
A lot better. But this has made it a coffee.
A nice coffee.
Oh yeah.
I've got one with me, and that's for morning, and I'm looking forward to that big time.
I've got a couple if you want some.
Oh, I'm all right, mate. Thank you. You struggled a bit with Dale Head, didn't you?
Dale Head were a killer for me.
But you should be really proud of yourself, mate. You absolutely pulled through there.
I was just saying, but when you're like doing so many in a run, you've got to not think, damn, I've got another 3 to go. You've got to take your mind as conscious on the one you're doing, sort of thing. And that's what I was struggling with. So I knew I were up there, getting up there, and I thought, I've still got more to go after this.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, but thanks you encouraging me and getting me a move on and stuff.
Oh, we got there, mate. But honestly, you should be really proud of yourself. That is a good walk in anyone's book.
Oh, I'm happy we've done the 5, and we don't have to come back up and do another one.
Well, I heard you saying 5's the most mountains you've done in one day. It's also the most I've done in one day.
Yeah, I'm glad.
So it's a good achievement, mate. It really is.
We achieved it together.
We did, mate. But now, I have been looking forward to this since High Spy.
Quite a long time ago.
Quite a long time ago. Korean pork belly, hoisin stir fry with spicy noodles. Oh, get in my belly. I am not joking you. If you scroll a few videos down, I did do a video on how I prepare the food and seal them in these bags. So if you are interested, you can go and check it out. Dan also uses them on his channel. They've been an absolute game changer. Home cooked food at camp. So delicious.
I'm going to get the smaller bags like you.
Yeah, Dan uses slightly bigger bags.
9x6. They're too big.
Oh my goodness.
Those are a lot better. Better size. But pots.
Wow. I do like my food. Oh, and the great hand warmers too.
Oh yeah. Beautiful.
Right, I'm going to knock the camera off. Myself and Dan are just going to have a bit of a chat while we both finish our food off. Like I say, it's not going to be a late night for either of us, so I'll see you once I'm back in my tent. Boy, am I glad to get inside the tent. When I was sat out chatting with Dan, it really has started to cool down. Forecast -5 tonight, but obviously it's going to feel a lot colder than that. I'm expecting a hard frost in the morning. So I'm tucked up inside my sleeping bag. I've got the heated gilet in the bottom. I've got my down pants on. My hands are warmed up. So I'm looking forward to a really good night's sleep. 7:30 now, and I don't think myself or Dan are going to see much past 8 o'clock. But for now, I'm enjoying one of my Heineken Zeros. Oh, that's good. But other than myself and Dan chatting absolute rubbish between the two tents, there isn't going to be a lot going on. So enjoy the photos and footage I've got for you overnight, and we'll see you in the morning.
I dare you to fix me. I'm crossing the line again, falling on my knees. No stranger to pain, it's never ending, it's only something I can't forget. My heart won't let it rest, but you keep on forgiving. Admit that I'm afraid. If I let go of this pain, am I completely betrayed? There's no air left to breathe. I'm drowning, vultures are circling me. Around it, I need to fight. I know it's just so hard to let it go. Shine a light I can see. Something I can't forget. My heart won't let it rest, but you keep on forgiving. Admit that I'm afraid. If I let go of this rage, am I completely betrayed? Something I can't forget. My heart won't let it rest, but you keep on forgiving. Oh, admit that I'm afraid. If I let go of this rage, am I completely betrayed? My heart, my love, my life, the price. It's hard to fight, goodbye. Shine a light I can see.
Good morning everyone. What a cracking night's sleep. Only woke up a couple of times, once about midnight, once about 3, only briefly. It's currently 6 o'clock. I've been up since about 5:15. So yeah, a little bit more of a lie in this morning, and it is starting to get light outside. I can see through the tent, I can see the floors light outside, which makes a refreshing change. It has, however, been a cold night. Anytime my hands or anything come out the sleeping bag, I could tell it was cold. A little bit of condensation on the inside of the tent, but nothing terrible at all. Dan's up, so it is most definitely time to get some breakfast and some coffee on this morning. Jet boil's on the go now. 5 minutes and it'll be time for breakfast and a coffee. Dan's also got his breakfast on. As you can see behind me, I have made a start packing up inside the tent while the breakfast's been on. Because you get a lot more in these Mylar bags, they need about 20 minutes. I do 10 minutes the right way up and then the last 10 minutes upside down, just to make sure it's piping hot throughout. Most definitely ready for breakfast this morning. We've got about a 4-mile hike back to the cars, there or thereabouts, so it's going to take us somewhere between, I don't know, an hour and a half and a couple of hours to get back. Downhill or on the flat, so we should make good time. And with the lighter mornings coming, it is daylight outside, which will make things a little bit easier to my normal last few camps over winter. Also, as I said in the food prep video for these bags, you want to make sure that you seam seal just along that very top. Otherwise, you end up sealing into the bit where you're going to rip off, and it can be quite difficult. But if you get it right, it just opens as easy as that. Piping hot throughout that as well. Oh, so much better. Breakfast so good. Right guys, as per usual, I'm going to get myself away and finish my breakfast. Finish off tearing down. I'm going to catch up with Dan, and then we're going to set off on the hike back to the car. And what will make a nice little change is it's daylight outside, so I can show you the rest of the walk back to the car. Well, that's myself and Dan packed up and ready to go. That wind is extremely cold on the hands this morning. That's where Dan was. You can see Dan's just putting his gloves on. Dan's left nothing behind there. You can see where my tent was. I've left nothing behind, and in my rucksack is a rubbish bag. So as always, and as it should be, I'll be leaving no trace behind. Cracking little pitch here last night. Some lovely sunset colours coming up over that mountain there. Great views down the valley. Absolutely brilliant as always, and it'll make a refreshing change to be able to bring you back along the way back to the car to show you the footage of the descent. Now we're in daylight. We've dropped a good bit now, looking right back on the start of the walk towards Capbells. Just the same as Dan's just said on his video, you can see virtually all the summits apart from Dale Head, which is just around the corner. But we were just on that little ridge there. You can see we've dropped down quite a bit in a very short space of time. And I was just saying to Dan, once we get to the bottom of this next ridge line, we're on the road, but it'll be a fantastic opportunity to look back up the valley and see just about the entire walk that we've done. Somewhere between 11 and 12 miles. So it's an exceptional walk from Dan, and it's still a blimmin' good walk for me as well. It's probably the longest I've walked since doing Hadrian's Wall last year. So all in all, so far an exceedingly good outing for myself and Dan. Right, we'll crack on with this descent. Both myself and Dan are well down the descent now, and we're finding it pretty easy this morning. Your knee's recovered quite a bit, hasn't it? You're not doing so bad?
Yeah, hips recovered a bit, not much but a bit. Not up and down all them, are we?
No. So we just got this little bit of up and down to go, and then down the final descent, and then round the back side of Capbells back to the car. But we are at a nice point now where we've got a cracking view up the valley, and we can see just about the entire walk. We've got Capbells there, up onto Maiden Moor, along the top, High Spy, just and so see the Summit Cairn on Dale Head, and then Hindscarth just there. What a view down the valley that is. And I was just saying to Dan, we're looking back and going, blimey, we've done that. That is a blinking good walk, that is. Especially that dip down from High Spy and then the climb back up to Dale Head. That was tough. Yeah. Right, onwards back to the car. We're about 50 minutes into the descent now. And we're just starting the last little bit down the final cliff face. Dan's just leading the way. You can see the path just meanders down the ridge line. Once we get down that bottom onto the road, we'll make some good time up. It has been a little bit scrambly in places and we've had to be very careful with our foot placement. Just like here. And that's where the walking poles come in really handy. Nice little view back towards Catbells already with people on. And the face of Maiden Moor is steep as anything. You definitely wouldn't want to fall off there. Sun just starting to peek through the clouds. And once again, a cracking view back up the valley to Dale Head and Hindscarth, our last summit of the day. Awesome fun. We haven't got far to go now till we get back to some nice easy road walking. Dan's just up there, but you can see some of this descent is very scrambly. Definitely a route to be taken with walking poles, and there was one bit there I had to slide down on my backside. Like I say, we've just got this little ziggy-zaggy path down the final bit of the spine, and then we're on some nice easy road walking back to the car. Back at Catbells. I reckon another 45 minutes and we'll be back at the car. And that's myself and Dan hit the nice flat road. We are now directly the other side of Catbells to the side that we set off. Beautiful view up towards it there, highlighted by the white clouds. We've got some little horses in the field. Crocuses and daffodils are out, barely a breath of wind, the birds are singing. It's a glorious morning here in the Lake District and the perfect place to sign the video off. Thank you all very much for joining myself and Dan on this one. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as us two have. So once again, until next time, stay safe, much love from a Cumbrian lad.